Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my pick and analysis for the Week 1 2016 matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Tennessee Titans. The game will be played at Tennessee, so of course Tennessee does have the home field advantage. I look at this game. I think Tennessee is dramatically improved from last season. I think they're one of the probably the top in the top five as far as the most improved teams this season. I think they're going to be more competitive than a lot of people think. Some people got them near the bottom of the barrel, like maybe one of the five worst teams of the NFL. I think they're going to finish like 6-10. I see them making a little bit of improvement compared to last season. It's going to take time for these players to play cohesively and play well together. But anyway, as far as this game goes, I mean, the Titans last season, I think that we have to look at, okay, they gave up 54 sacks. They were, as far as the offensive line, gave up 54 sacks last season. Minnesota Vikings were one of the better teams in sacks last season. I think this is going to be very critical in this game. If the Titans can at least contain that pass rush of the Minnesota Vikings, they do have a chance in this one. And also, as many of you may know, that Minnesota lost their Vikings quarterback. I believe it's likely for the whole season. Teddy Bridgewater. And the quarterback is either going to be Shaun Hill or Sam Bradford. Shaun Hill is number one on the depth chart right now as far as when I last looked at ESPN, which was right before the video. And anyway, or it could be quarterback Sam Bradford. I think it's likely going to be Bradford. Bradford really surreptitiously and very quietly amassed over 3,700 passing yards last season. He had 19 touchdown passes, just 14 INTs, and he completed 65% of his passes. He's really not that bad. And Sam Bradford could do a very good job in this game, I believe. The Vikings were 11-5 last season. And even though this is not a video about the spread, interestingly enough, the Vikings were number one against the spread last season at 13-3. Now, the Titans, okay, I understand the Vikings defense is not bad at all. The Titans, however, have added some weapons and will help counter this to some degree. The Titans did acquire wide receiver Andre Johnson. They got running back DeMarco Murray, and they retained wide receiver Delaney Walker. And this is a team, really, I mean, they have some high hopes for this season, some good aspirations. They were number 18 in run defense last season. And the Vikings, of course, they got Adrian Peterson. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL, of course. And the Vikings were also number 4 in rushing yards per game. So I think what's really going to be one of the main keys in this game, of course, is to somehow for the Titans to contain Adrian Peterson. I'm not that sure they can do that. I think what it is okay, the Vikings are going to have that edge right there. And they also, if Sam Bradford starts, may have a little bit of an edge over Marcus Mariota for the Titans because Bradford has been in the league a little bit longer. Mariota is coming off of a really not a bad season. He was injured for part of the season, but he did not play poorly. And I think he could also be, I mean, he's a dual threat. He can run with the ball. He's very mobile, and of course, he can pass it very efficiently as well. But I mean, they have a little edge, perhaps with the running game, the Minnesota Vikings, with the quarterback position, and perhaps as far as the battle, as far as their run defense, I should say, where they have that edge is the running game against the Titans' run defense a little bit. And Vikings also are 4-1 in the last 5 against the Titans. They've dominated in recent time, including trouncing the Titans 30-7 in the last meeting. That was in 2012. And the 4-1 record I'm talking about in the last 5 games is including the game in 1998 when the Titans were actually the Tennessee Oilers. So, and also what goes under the radar in a lot of analysis and predictions, and even a lot of my videos, admittingly, is when you look at special teams. Now, for special teams, then Vikings might have a little bit of an edge too in this game. The Vikings last season, they had the highest kickoff return average in the NFL. They were number one, 28.3 yards per kickoff return. And they have somebody that's very solid in terms of doing this, and that's kick returner Cordarrelle Patterson. And he led the NFL in kick return average of 31.8 yards per return. So that's something that goes under the radar, and really people don't look at that as a lot of people don't see that as a very is something that plays an integral role in terms of the outcome of a game, but it could very well help determine this in this particular matchup. I believe the Titans did add nose tackle Austin Johnson to help out in the run defense. Now, when I look at this game in summation, basically on paper, the Minnesota Vikings are still a little bit better than the Titans right now. The Titans are vastly improved, I believe. I think they will make this a very close game. I think the Minnesota Vikings overall do have the advantage. Okay, the Titans will be a team that will score more points this season than last, I believe. I think their offense will be improved. That will show in this game. I'm just not sure about the defense. The Titans actually only averaged 18.7 points per game last season. That was 28th in the league in scoring offense. And I think it comes down a lot to the Minnesota Vikings defense being better than the Titans offense, I think. And I'm going to go with the Vikings in a close one in this matchup. And anyway, I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings over the Tennessee Titans. And anyway, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for the Minnesota Vikings versus the Tennessee Titans in Week 1 of the 2016 NFL season. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.